Hey guys, Logan Battles here, and welcome to Q&A with Logan Battles number 2. This is the second Q&A video that I'm doing so far on this channel. Last Q&A video, I asked you guys to leave me questions on my Instagram, the Logan Battles. You can add me on there. I asked you guys to leave me questions, and I had answered 11 questions in my first Q&A video. Also, my first Q&A video, it was almost 20 minutes long, so I'm going to try my absolute best to make this shorter than the first one, because God knows I like to talk a lot. So I'm going to try to calm down on my over talking, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway. Let's get started with the first question. The first question is from Morgan. What is your favorite summer memory? My favorite summer memory would have to be my last year vacation. My vacation from last year to Las Vegas, Nevada. I went there on my 22nd birthday. I'm currently 22 going on 23. I will be 23 in August 9th. But on my 29th, or on my 22nd birthday, my parents and I went to Las Vegas, and we've been there for 3 or 4 days, and it was a lot of fun. It was a blast. I finally got to gamble for the first time in my life. That was awesome. I never got to gamble up until that point. It was really awesome. I just had a blast with everything that I was doing over there in Las Vegas. It was a lot of fun. So I would have to say that would probably be my favorite summer vacation. Or summer memory. I apologize. Not vacation, memory. My apologies. So this next question is from Cam. What do you think of AD, Anthony Davis, to LA? I think that Anthony Davis being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers is a big deal. Even for the Los Angeles Lakers and for Lakers fans. I feel, and NBA fans, I guess, Anthony Davis teaming up with LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. I almost said Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know why, but yeah, that's a really great duo. Really great duo. Probably the best duo that LeBron James has ever been a part of. Even better than him with Dwayne Wade at Miami and Kyrie Irving at Cleveland. I would say that. So that's a really great news, and I will be looking forward to the Los Angeles Lakers because they are projected to win next year's NBA championship. So I'll be looking out for them because they got Anthony Davis teaming up with LeBron James. That'll be very interesting to see. This next question is from Kenneth. A favorite Will Ferrell movie? I don't have a Will Ferrell movie. I don't watch any of Will Ferrell's films. And I've never been the biggest Will Ferrell fan, to be really honest with you. I don't find him to be all that funny. He's one of those he's one of those comedic actors that to me tried so hard to use to make stupid jokes and have stupid moments to try to come off as funny, to try to make them out like they're funny, when in fact they weren't. They weren't all that funny. I don't care how great any of Will Ferrell's films are. Elf, specifically, I guess. I don't care how great that film is. I just don't want to see it because I thought it looked stupid, as well as any other Will Ferrell film that I've seen that looks stupid. So, I don't have any favorite Will Ferrell film. This next question is from Snap. What is the best summer movie so far? Well, summer won't start until June 21st. I believe I got the date right. But pre-summer, best pre-summer movie, I will say is Avengers Endgame. That I'm probably going with. You're probably thinking spring, I'm guessing. But if you're not, then okay. Avengers Endgame is probably my favorite film in the pre-summer, or just spring in general. So I'm going with that. This next question is from Tatum. What are your passions? I have two passions. One is football and one is movies. Football, ever since ever since I watched the 2014 BCS National Championship between my Florida State Seminoles and the Auburn Tigers. When Florida State came back from a 21-point deficit, or somewhere below that, or 17 unanswered points, which Florida State made in the second half, and Jameis Winston made that touchdown pass to Kelvin Benjamin, making it the game-winning touchdown for Florida State. Ever since that game, I instantly became a fan of not just Florida State football, but also football in general. I have been a fan of the concept of football and how exciting it is to watch. But even though it is probably one of the most violent, if not the most violent sport in all of sports, it's still my favorite sport to watch because of how football works. And I have extended my fandom on football when I started watching the NFL, not just college football. And ever since then, I became a fan. Even a much bigger fan than I was after watching the 2014 BCS National Championship. And movies, I've been ever since one particular film, and I won't reveal what it is until I get to another question that asked me what got my interest into doing movie reviews. I will get to that, but there's one particular film that really got me into wanting to review films and make me want to talk about them and makes me want to watch more of or talk more of. It's just movies. They give you an escape from reality and allows you to visit some new and exciting places, and also gets you invested in the stories and the characters, making you feel like that you are part of the story, and these characters that you're watching are felt as if they are real people, and you're part of the story. That's what instantly got me into movies. So I would say movies and football are my two passions. Even though I don't play for football, I still love watching it. And even though I'm not an actor or director or whatever title there is in Hollywood for making movies, I still love watching and reviewing movies. So yeah, those are my two passions, I will say. This next question is from Frankie. Who's your favorite painter? This is probably an easy question this will probably come off as an easy question in some people's eyes, but I don't really care. It's Leonardo da Vinci, who's responsible for giving us the iconic, memorable painting of the Mona Lisa. You know that? Yeah, everybody knows the Mona Lisa and what it is. The paintwork, or I think that's the word for it, or it might have been a word that I made, but I would say Leonardo da Vinci only because he made painted the Mona Lisa. Just how he made that painting look so well detailed, making it look so realistic. It's unspeakable. Is that a word? I think it is. It's just unbelievable of how so realistic and detailed that Leonardo da Vinci made that painting look of that woman in the picture. It's just that unreal. So yeah, Leonardo da Vinci, it's probably an easy question, but I give a shit. It's Leonardo da Vinci. This next question is from Kate Eppers. I think that's how you say her last name. Favorite movie? Now, I did had a question in my first Q&A video, but I chose not to answer that because I don't know the answer to that question. I wasn't at that point where I know exactly what my favorite film of all time is. But after 3 months of thinking long and hard about this, I came to the conclusion that Terminator 2 Judgment Day is my favorite film of all time. I could have said The Empire Strikes Back, but that is just way too easy to say. I'm just going with the Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It's my favorite film of all time. There are very few films in the history of cinema that I have seen so far in my life that I would say to people, I don't think there is a single issue with this film at all. I cannot find a single nitpicking complaint with that particular film. And Terminator 2 Judgment Day is one of those films. It is the literal definition of great action. A masterpiece. That film is a masterpiece of action. It revolutionized action movies for decades to come, making action movies great. It started off it boosted the entire movie genre of action, and ever since I was growing up into, I would say, my adolescence, I really became a huge fan of action movies. Action movies have always been my favorite movie genre. They are always exciting, really exhilarating, and very interesting to watch. I've seen some big badass action heroes like Bruce Willis or Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger or any actor you can think of that are like a big badass action actors. They're just iconic in their own rights. So, and that's probably the reason why I answer that question. It's because I'm a humongous action movie buff. I would probably say Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This next question is from Frankie. Who's your favorite YouTuber? I mean, I was asked of that question before in my Q&A and also answered it. So if you want to know my answer to that question, you can go watch my first Q&A. There's an iNotification right up here. So I would recommend checking out if you want to know my answer to that question. So yeah, because I already answered it. This next question is from Dakota. Do you miss Texas? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, I do miss Texas. For those of you that don't know, before I currently live in Florida, or even before I moved into Florida, I lived in Texas for, 4 or 5 years or somewhere around there. I was living in Texas before I ever even moved and lived in Florida, here in Florida. And there's so much that I miss about living in Texas, the state of Texas. The Lone Star State is what I think is nicknamed. Just everything that I missed about living in Florida. But the one thing that I missed about Texas more than anything else is probably the friends that I made from the schools that I went to in Texas. And yeah, I made an awful lot of friends over there, and I missed every single one of them ever since I moved out of Texas to move into here in Florida. So Yeah. Yes, I do miss Texas. And I also missed you, Dakota. I missed you a lot. Dakota is one of my best friends from middle school, by the way, so just to let y'all know. This next question is from Mark, I think, M-A-R-C, Mark. Um, any favorite sci-fi movies? The Empire Strikes Back, probably. I mean, again, that might be an easy question, but I don't care. Star Wars is the literal definition of sci-fi, period. I mean, there's just, I don't know. I mean, what else? I mean, Star Wars is a true definition of sci-fi. I mean, honestly. I mean, it's so sci-fi and so futuristic, you really can't help but think of it as part of the sci-fi genre of movies. So, Star Wars, I will say, particularly The Empire Strikes Back. This next question is from Taylor. What sparked your interest in starting the movie reviews? Star Wars, my answer to that question is Star Wars The Force Awakens. Ever since December of 2015, which is when it came out in theaters, I instantly, and I do mean instantly, became so invested into movies. Ever since then, I love Star Wars: The Force Awakens so bad, so much that I didn't just want to, that I just wanted to talk about it, not just on my social networking sites, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but also here on YouTube. And I started doing videos a few months before, just halfway through 2015, before Star Wars: The Force Awakens came along, or played in theaters, and that film, it didn't just got me into wanting to do movie reviews. It also, it's hard to say actually, because there's just so much to say about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I mean, that film is the one that made me want to review movies. Just how great it was, plus how fantastic the theater experience that I had when I over there when I first saw it in theaters. Thinking late in a late theater screening for it. It's just that great, or viewing, I should say, instead of screening. This next question is from Leo. What was your favorite movie growing up? Hands down, without doubt, period, point blank, it's The Lion King. The Lion King has and always will be, in my humble opinion, not just the best animated Disney film of all time, but also the best animated film of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. I still haven't seen Coco. I keep hearing about how that film is the greatest animated film of all time. I have yet to see it, but until I see that film, I'm going to tell you that no matter how great any Pixar movies that I love, particularly the Toy Story films, or any Laika film, A Missing Link, for example, are great. The Lion King is still at the mountaintop of animated films, in my personal opinion. It absolutely makes me love animated films, period. I just love the story, and Simba, Mufasa, Zazu, Pumbaa, Timon. I mean, every character. Rafiki. I mean, just as a kid, watching that film, I love it. It's easily The Lion King. No comp, it's not even close. This next question is from Audrey. What is your favorite movie so far? My favorite movie so far this year is Avengers Endgame. I'm not going to talk too much about Avengers Endgame because I want to save what I want to say for that film in my Avengers Endgame review, which will be up later this week, so stay tuned. But one thing I will say about Avengers Endgame is that it is the perfect conclusion to the 11-year chapter of the MCU. That is the one thing I can describe Avengers Endgame from me to you. Just the first thing that I have ever said about Avengers Endgame. So, yeah, I will say Avengers Endgame. I'm going to have my review for that film up on my channel as soon as I'm done doing this one, as well as a few other videos. So anyway, and the last question for this Q&A video is from Jack Banner. Favorite sci-fi movie besides Star Wars? So, my favorite non-Star Wars sci-fi film? That's a good question. Star Trek by J.J. Abrams, maybe? I would probably say that. Since we're not talking Star Wars, I will have to say Star Trek, directed by J.J. Abrams, the first one. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that. So anyway, guys, those are all the questions that I have for my second Q&A video. Thank you guys so much for for asking me your questions, sending them to my way. I do appreciate that. It's always a lot of fun for me to get to answer your questions. I always love them. They're very fun. And yeah, that's it. Next Q&A will be in the next 3 to 4 or 5 months. Q&A number 3. So yeah, be ready for that when it comes. If you guys enjoyed this video, please click the like button and comment down below to let me know what you think of my answers to your questions. If you enjoy what you see here and you want to see future videos from me, please press up there to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great week, Battle Squad, and as always, fight the good fight.